हेलो नमस्ते जोजलपा आजको कार्यक्रम हेरिराख्नु भएका सम्पूर्ण महानुभावलाई यस कार्यक्रममा हामी विभिन्न व्यक्तित्वहरूसँग विभिन्न विषयमा कुराकानी गर्नेछौँ भने आजको एपिसोडमा हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ एकजना नृत्यकार अर्थात् एकजना डान्सर र आज हामी उहाँसँग डान्सका बारेमा विभिन्न कुराकानीहरू गर्नेछौँ। आजको एपिसोडमा हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ एकजना फ्रेन्च डान्सर, त्यसै कारणले हामी आज प्राय इङ्ग्लिसमा नै कुरा गर्नेछौँ। आउनुहोस् स्वागत गरौँ हाम्रा आजका अतिथि अलिजेज्यूलाई। Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
So you have been in Nepal for quite a long time. How was your experience in Nepal and how did you came Nepal for the first time?
So I came to Nepal a little bit out of the blue. At the beginning, it was more like I was looking for something different. I wanted to use my art, but also in a way of reconnecting to the people. And I randomly bumped into a doctor that just came back from Nepal. And then she said to me, "You're going to love Nepal. There's a lot of culture. A lot of people are also very integrated into the art field, even if it's on a different level than what we have in Europe. So I think you'd have a wonderful experience." So I thought, why not? Let's go. Let's experience. So when I came, I started working with more orphan kids. And I wanted to see how I could use art in a way for them to find something that they're good at also. Like, not everybody is very good at school. And sometimes that can bring a little bit of your, like, it can bring you down. It can make you feel like, I'm not good. What should I do? I have certain subjects in school where I'm feeling good, but then I'm not able to be as successful as the others. And art, I feel it's something that we all have inside, no matter what kind of art it is. Like, it can be singing, dancing, acting, playing music, making painting, art, sculpture. Like, it's such a big field that there will always be something that you're going to be good at in that can also help you esteem, so that you can feel, okay, like I can create something, I can build something for myself. So that was the thing that really drove me here.
So how long have you been in the bar?
So it's going to be 11 and a half years.
Almost 12 years.
Almost 12.
So when you first came to Nepal, was there any cultural shock that you faced here?
I mean, yes, compared to, especially I came from London also. So London, big city, Nepal was very different. When I arrived here, I was also outside of the ring road. And at that time, all the small villages outside, they were like rice field, river. It was very peaceful. It was all about religious. Like, you would wake up with the bell of the temple.
Yeah.
In the morning. I know that you have also a wonderful community for that, and really beautiful. Like, the religion is very powerful still in your community. There was more Hindu, but it was like beautiful to just have the temple, peacefulness. At the same time, not a lot of material, but I'm used to that. When I was a child, my mother, she wouldn't want to buy us a lot of things. It was more, she would leave us in a room or in the garden and like create something. It's up to you to build your toys, to build whatever you have around so that you understand nature.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at a plant and see how it grows. But then a lot of people have no idea. And they're just going to be like, do I need to put water or not? But then they don't notice, there's a new leaf that I formed and the shape that it could have. Or so many small things that, in a sense, it wasn't a big shock because I was used to the nature. But at the same time, it was nice to reconnect with people that didn't have a lot of opportunity to be surrounded by art, or to have a way of expressing through that. Because at the orphanage at the beginning, it was more about they need to be very good in school. They all need to speak English, So the owners were really at a very key point on those things. And I said to them, I understand. But if you just pick their brain the whole time and make them study without anything outside who is going to be able to relax their mind and make them want to study more, then it's going to be too much. Some can handle it, but a very small percentage, a very small percentage of that. Others, they also need a break. Maybe to just run wild in the nature.
Yeah.
Or sit and observe according to the personality and the people. So maybe I went out of the...
No, it's good, yeah. But we just talk about Nepal's journey of yours. But I want to know how you gained into the dancing field, because you are professionally a dancer and art director, and you're working in the various field, but it is somehow connected to dance. How did you started your journey in dance?
So my journey was also similar to how I would say my life has been. As a child, I did a lot of different activities. So my mother wanted me to explore different activities so that I could really feel what I want to do. At home, I used to have big suitcases full of weird tops and skirts and whatever. Like, it wasn't matching. It wasn't anything like that. It would be like all thing that my grandmother had or somebody else that gave it to us. And I used to dress up every single day and do performance for my family. Okay. Like, just like that. They didn't have a choice. Maybe the vegan always wanted, but it was something that was always inside me. But then starting proper classes, I was always very afraid of the teacher. I was somebody where if the teacher was very strict and I had a little bit of a temper, I would be like, oh, I don't want to like study with them. So it would push me away a little bit from dance, because dance has a lot of discipline, and people are very strict. So that used to scare me. So I started very late. I started when I was 9. And then I thought, there's this workshop happening. I want to try. And my mom was like, you're always dancing. You're always acting. Why don't you try? And it could be fun. It's only for 1 week. Why not? And in that workshop, there was a teacher from Paris Opera, which is the best ballet school, one of the best in the world, but then the best in France for sure. And then she said to my mom, your daughter has a lot of potential, but she has to audition this year. Otherwise, she's going to be too old, because you have to be under 10. Or the age of 10 when you join the school. So it's your last year almost. Exactly. That was the last year. After that, I'll be too old. And then I will have to pay a full fee, which is very, very expensive. But if you enter the school in your year of your 10 or before you're 10, you cannot get a scholarship from the government. Okay. And that's a very prestigious school, very expensive, that of course my parents would not be able to afford,
Yeah.
So my mom thought, okay, let's try. 1,000 of people I try to apply every year. So there's really no chance that my daughter would be taken. But if they tell us, why not? We have nothing to lose. For me, I was like, oh, I'm going to Paris with my mother. It's going to be fun. So it was more in that kind of mindset, never thinking that I would be taken. First day of audition, stress of my life. Because all the other girls started when they were 4 years old. 4? Yeah. Wow, they were too early, already on point. I barely knew even the name of the steps. Someone said to me like, tendu, I knew what it was, but then like with the stress and everything, I forgot everything. I was like frozen. What is that? And it was very scary also, because at the time, the director of the school, her name was Claude Bessy.
Okay.
So she was really the old generation. So we were on the stage. I think it was about 500 and 600 seats in front of us, all in the dark, the seats. And the only thing you could see, it's a woman smoking a cigarette like the drama. It was really like a drama. The blow of the smoke coming out, and a dark voice. Oh, Dodes. And she was like, yeah. It was really like frightening at the same time. It was like a movie. Oh, definitely like a movie. That made me even more nervous. For me, I was already stressed about people who have like aggressivity or,
Yeah.
So I was like shaking. I think it's the first time that I actually felt drop sweat and literally going all over my body. Like I could feel it on my body because of being so nervous. Okay. First day was all about potential and body. So they would put your body, put you in different positions, check your flexibility. So it went well. Okay. I got out with a paper saying you can come back the next day. I was so petrified that I said to my mom, no, I'm not going. I'm not going tomorrow. Let's go and watch some museum. I think I wanted to go to watch Le Louvre at that time. I was like, please, let's not go again. Like, I didn't want to go through that emotional stress, But then my mom was like, most of the girls came out crying. You came out with a paper that everybody wants. So if you don't go tomorrow, you might regret it, So go tomorrow. It's only in the morning. We can still go to the Louvre in the afternoon. So, Okay, it's fine. Don't worry. So we went the next day. Catastrophe. Because it was a full class. The position where I was, I couldn't see anything that the teacher was showing. I was off timing. Everything wrong. Everything wrong. Everything went wrong. Then my mother gets called from the waiting area with all the parents and taken to the office of the director. The director said, your daughter doesn't know how to dance, but she has potential. Starts to make her take classes right now as soon as you get home, so that in September when she starts, she'll already have a better level. And we want to take her. And my mom was like, okay. Everybody has had to wait like 2-3 months to be able to have the response. So I knew right away. So that's how I started.
So like destiny made it happen. Exactly. Everyone supported you. Even when you said, I would not do it, but destiny made it happen. Now you are in a place where everyone look up to you. But you just said that there are kids generally start in the age of 4 and you went through an audition.
Yeah.
So those kids also go through a same process of audition.
Yeah.
The age of 4.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't even, think about it, how it goes. So about dance, what is the main important thing in the dance?
So I would say dance is a way of expressing feelings or a situation, Through the age, at the beginning, it was more about, especially with the ballet, you need to have the technique. Once you have the technique, then you can dance with it and express, and give a certain feeling, a certain emotion. But now with the age, I also feel it's not just about expressing a certain emotion, but it's really about you can tell a story. Yeah. You can tell a story, you can just give expression, feelings, but it's about giving a message to the people using your body. So your body can be, like for the actors, they use their voice. Well, the body also, but then the main skill is going to be more the voice. When you're a singer, is also the voice. Let's say your opera singer is going to be the whole body and the voice. Yeah. Painter is going to be through the painting. Sculpture with the sculpture, like you can feel what the person felt when they created it, or what is the message that they want to give with the creation that they have. So I would say it's a different way of expressing yourself.
You just said dance is also an emotion.
Yeah.
How is dance an emotion? How can we portray our emotions through the dance?
So, for example, the clean emotions are happiness, sadness, and anger. Okay, so you have, and that's in all the skills, like acting also. Those are the pure emotion. So happiness can be shown in the sense of what kind of movement you do in any dance form. So even if it's something classical, even if it's something more modern, in the way that you're going to move your body, you can bring joy and happiness. And of course, also through the face. Sadness is when your body gets a bit more closed in. So that also is going to be different kind of movement. It won't be as open and shiny, but it's going to be more into contraction and maybe sharper movement and soft also that might express the tears or that kind of sadness, and a lot more in closer movement where, because when you feel sad, you kind of want to stay in a little ball, no? Yeah. You don't want to open up. You don't want to be like shining, yeah. You want to stay, I'm going to stay by myself. Don't look at me. Maybe you don't even want to see anybody. Anger, it's going to be more about sharper thing. So sharper movement that is going to bring kind of the power. And you have to feel those emotions when you're performing so that you can give even more to the audience.
Dance can be in various forms, and you have done so many forms of dance like flamenco, classical, Chinese classical, or different form of dance. Which was the first form of dance you did, and how was it?
So because of my studies, it was ballet. And ballet, what I feel is like it really makes you understand your whole body. From your toes to your little finger, you need to know exactly what your body is doing. So you have such a body awareness that later it's much easier to learn other dance form. Because once you know, oh, okay, my arm, I'm using this muscle, that muscle here. Now for this form, I need to be here. Okay, that's fine. Or maybe I need my fingers like this, like different kind of position. So it makes you aware and it makes you understand the core. In dance, core is your center. So as long as every part is connected to your core and you understand how the movement is happening, then it's easier to learn other dance form. And what I love about doing other dance form is each dance form also has the way of bringing an emotion or a story that is very specific to them. Like flamenco, for example, is all about the inner powerful woman. When you do that, you feel like anything, like that comes on your way, you could just like beat it. And it gives you that it's really all about the inner power and the inner feeling. So the movement are a little bit more sharp, powerful, very feminine. Ballet can have a lot of different things. Most of the time, ballet is more about the grace and the elegance and the way that it looks like you are floating on the stage. How to make the movement looks easy, even if the movement are hard. So that's kind of what more ballet is. Then contemporary is more about how can you express and use your body in different ways that are not so strict. Then jazz is really fun. Broadway jazz is more about flashy, hard dance. So it's a very upbeat. So if you feel a bit depressed or a bit sad and you want to bring happiness into your body, jazz, I would say it's like one of the best. Okay. And that's the beautiful thing also about dance. Like it can change the emotion that you feel. And I use that a lot. Like sometimes if I'm a little bit sad or maybe happy or more sad I say than happy than angry. Angry, I don't get too angry. Then I just like to put music, go on my rooftop and just dance. Either to release something, either to bring more positive energy to myself.
So while you were telling about this dance form, I had so many questions going on around my mind. But okay, one by one. Okay, firstly, we talk about ballet. I know ballet is a very beautiful dance. It seems so graceful, so pretty when we watch it. But we have also seen so many muses and so many things like they break their toes and it hurts so much. It's so painful when they dance. Can you share a bit about the struggle a ballet dancer goes through?
Yeah. So first of all, the point shoes that we wear, it's made out of wood, fabric, and cardboard that is like made it hard, So due to that, our feet is not used to be having the whole weight on the tippy toes, which can make it very difficult. And it rubs the whole time. When you go up and down, it's rubbing inside. Your feet are rubbing. So at the beginning, because I have a few Nepali students that are doing point shoes, after 5 minutes, they're like, please, can I remove the shoe on the first day? Because people are not used to the pain. As a ballet dancer, when your body is painful and you feel that all your muscles are paining, that means you're doing well.
When you're feeling a pain, you're doing well. Okay.
Because the position is not natural. It's not a position that you would be in the everyday life. So because of that, when you feel, my muscle is hurting a lot, that means you're doing right. That means you're engaging your muscle well. Of course, through the year, you don't feel the pain that much. But if you stop for a period of time, you will feel the pain, and you'll be like, I forgot that I had muscles here. I forgot that I had muscle here. So it's a very interesting because we don't mind feeling the pain. Because we love so much what we do.
Yeah.
I remember one, now it's funny, not so much at the time. I was doing Swan Lake. So since the movie, I think a lot of people know a little bit about the storyline, which is about this girl that transforms into a swan because she gets heartbroken by a prince that says to her, I'm gonna love you forever. I'm falling in love with you. You are the love of my life. So she believes him. But then because he's a prince, he's supposed to marry a princess and she's not a princess. So because of the betrayal, she turns into a swan by the father of the girl that he's supposed to marry. Because he's jealous of her beauty and he can feel that the prince falls in love with her. So we were doing that. It's all about being swan, light, elegant. We're all wearing white. I come out of the stage and then one of the girls says to me, are you okay? You okay? You in pain? And I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm okay. Why? Look at your feet. My point shoes was full of blood.
What?
Yeah. Because new shoes, so blisters started to create. And then
pushing, dancing on it for 1 hour, the whole shoes became red because of the blood. And you didn't realize it. I didn't realize. I didn't feel anything until I knew. Wow. So until I saw my foot, then it was painful. But without looking at it, we are so used to being pain that I couldn't even feel the pain. I can't imagine going through it. So the hardest part later was to change the shoes because I still had 2 hours of show to do. Yet 2 hours more to go after the pain. While removing it, changing the shoes. I even thinking about it, making my legs pain. Okay, but you said about muscles and everything. But how can a dance help in your body fitness? So it will help you because first, having muscle in your legs or in your body or in your back, in your stomach, it's actually going to change the posture of your body, like the way you're going to hold yourself. So that will change the way that your body is. Like a lot of people nowadays, they sit back, I already want to sit in like that. They're always like sitting back, maybe on the computer, on the phone, and then you don't use your core muscle anymore, And then sometimes, especially in office, people, I have a lot of clients also that I look after. They have lower back problem, they have neck problem, shoulder problem because of the posture. So for me, it's more a habit of keeping my back straight. I can't. My back is already starting to peak. But for me, it's because every day we had to be like this. So it becomes very natural. Like, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to. And then if I sit like this for too long, then I also feel the pain now in this posture. So it's more about your body transforms. And then, yes, at the beginning it's difficult to think, oh, I should engage my core. I should engage my abdominals. And you might not think about it. But then if you look in the olden days, we had to be like this. It wouldn't be nice to go and meet people and be like, so what's up? Like, how's your day? Like, it would be a bit impolite. For men, but also for women. So we have lost that in our daily life now. We have a lot more habits that make our body less physical. Before, everybody used to do a lot of hard work, like you'll be this and that and running and cleaning and cooking and maybe work on the side, maybe lots of kids to look after. So your body is always in a certain activity that also builds your muscle more. And in our society right now, we are more chilled. We have more job that are more relaxed. And due to that, a lot of people have a lot more problems. So dance helps you to feel your muscle and then realign yourself. Same as yoga, with the Kundalini. So it's the same line. Dancing is the same line as the Kundalini. It's that same, like how to let the energy flow through your body. And then we also believe that like more positive things will come, So if I go on track, for example, I have a very good stamina. And that's because of the dance background. Because I don't get tired. I know how to regulate my heart. So I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to run all the way down, but then go really slowly when I go up. Like, I'll try to walk up, down, straight the same way, and it doesn't make my body tired. So I think due to that, dance helps you a lot in that sense. Also for your cardio, and I would say elegance of the body also, because then you're more, like, it's not an effort to hold yourself up or this or that. So we still have many more questions left, but before that, we have a small segment called This or That, where I'll be giving you 2 options and you have to choose it. First question might be a little bit complicated, or maybe not, but okay. So it's about the dance. Which form of dance do you prefer, ballet or contemporary? I knew it. When I saw this going. Now with my age, it's hard. Because I love ballet. I love contemporary also. The both dance form have given me so much. I would say ballet is easy. Ballet is easy for me. Okay. But contemporary also. But in ballet, it's like you ask me to do something, all the technique really stays in my body, even if I don't practice often. Contemporary, it's better now that I'm getting older, in a sense where it's a much more soothing type of dance to do. So
So.
You can't choose one.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's too hard to choose. They both give me something so different that I can't really compare the shows.
Okay, so we'll go.
So it was a hard question.
Yeah, that's how I kept it. So this next is, do you prefer a live performance or a filmed performance?
Live. Any specific reason? Because audience can get so much more from it. I like the camera work. I feel that with the camera work, you can bring different things that the audience might not notice in a way of closer expression of the face or sudden movement that can look very artistic and even more complex with the camera. That when you see it live, you might feel, oh, that looks easy.
Yeah.
But in a sense of emotion, it's not the same when there's a camera. With the audience, you can make them shake. You can make them, want to be dancing with you. You can give them so much more that the camera takes away.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, do you prefer a solo performance or a group performance?
I would say group.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gives you a lot more possibility and a lot more exchange with the people. When you do a solo performance, it's you with yourself. But then when you dance with a group, you exchanging so much emotion with the other dancers that it fills you with a lot more, Yeah. Even satisfaction at the end of a performance, like you have to practice so much with a team that it makes you create such a beautiful team energy that once you perform and you're proud of what you did, the energy is so much more. When it's a solo, it's just you.
Yeah.
So it's not the same.
Yeah. So the last but not the least question for this or that segment is, I have heard about flamenco. So there are different shoes for flamenco. So do you prefer flamenco heels or flamenco flats?
Heels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heels are short heels.
It is short heels, but it has nails on it. So it has heels? Yes, like little nails on the heels and at the front of the shoes. So that makes you create some noise. And that's why I lived in Spain also for 1 year. And we did flamenco show in the street. So we had a little piece of wood, a square piece of wood that we'd bring on the street and we would perform.
Without music or?
Without music, we would create the music with the shoes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So due to that, the heels, it gives you more because it's about you creating also your own music if you don't have musician or singers with you.
Can you tell me a little bit about flamenco dance?
Yes. So flamenco is really typical from Spain. It was created because Spain is more hot, so you had the fiery, hot type of messes. Even with the personality, the women, they've really, similar to Nepaliness, they really run the house, Maybe louder than in Nepal, but you never know. In some family, the woman can also be loud in the house.
There's no comments. No judgment. Yeah. Nothing coming from our side. Yeah.
Which is a good thing. It really shows the empowerment of the woman.
Yeah.
And because of that, flamenco has that heated power, strong female domination, where that was the only place that the woman could express what they felt without being judged. And that's why I love it also. Not that many men were famous for flamenco, but now more and more men are also joining it. But it's really more female orientated. And then you have a lot of different props. Okay, so you have the fan also that you can use. So there's a whole, I would say, like dictionary about it. So, okay, according to how you put the fan, like if you cover one eye, so every
has a different meaning.
That's right. Every position and every way on how you hold the fan is like a dialogue.
Oh,
so it tells you what the dancer is trying to express. Then you have the castagnette. So it's a small musical instrument that you place between your finger and you tap. And you really use each finger individually. So it's great to get your muscle also in your hands, And that also gives you a different feel while you're dancing. So not just your shoes are making sound, but also you can make the sound with your hands.
Oh, yeah. I'm learning so much new things and I'm so happy that I'm getting to learn so many things. Okay. But we have a next question that is like, dance is more like a feminine thing. But of course there are male dancers too. But how do you, how do I put this question? Like, People generally see dance as a feminine side. What do you think about it? Like, it's not just limited to girls. No, what do you think about it?
So what I would say, this is the way that people see it now.
Yeah.
Okay. If we go back to ballet, the person that created the root of ballet was a male.
Okay.
It was called Louis XIV, which was also called Le Roi Soleil, the king's son. So he was a French king.
Okay.
He's the one who built Versailles. You know? So he loved performing so much that actually the roots of ballet comes from him. And he created the dance called Baroque dance, which of course is not as elevated of where ballet is nowadays, but it started from him. And only the royals were allowed to perform.
Wow.
And the men had much more difficult step than the women, because the women had the big dresses at that time, so they could barely move except a little bit of footwork. And when just the upper body, looking, moving, that elegance was there. But the male had a lot more complex steps. Then, after the Second World War, ballet started to elevate, but then not that many men were around. So what used to happen is at that time it was really more female orientated, where mainly women would be professional dancers. And then they used to even dance with firemen. Because the firemen, they used to be strong, right? Yeah. I know it feels really weird. But so the men used to come and just lift the woman, look good on stage because they were strong and they had a body. And then slowly, the men started to dance again. Now, for me, when I was studying in Paris Opera, in Germany also, and in the Royal Ballet in UK, we had the same amount of guys than girls in every class. So it's something that a lot of people say, oh, no. Like, if I'm a guy and I'm like, I like dancing, people are going to be like, are you gay or something? Yeah, there's a lot of judgment that is there. And I think that's why a lot of men are scared sometimes to do dance, because they don't want to be judged. Yeah. But the movement are completely different for women than they would be for men.
Yeah.
In a lot of different dance forms. So it's more masculine, it's more powerful, and I think it's beautiful to have those two energy. And it's just something that we have to change.
Yeah.
The mind of people.
Slowly the time will change it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So as you just mentioned, you danced in different countries, UK, London, France itself, and Nepal now. Do you think there are difference in each country that you took part, like dances you took part?
Yeah.
Can you share your mean?
So all the different countries in Europe, it was mainly through ballet that I managed to travel. So due to that was Paris was very French, the discipline, all the footwork, not so much in learning how to be graceful, but really more about technique, being the best, having the best body. So that was really the requirement. When I moved to Germany, we had a Russian technique of studying. So it was more about, again, power, strength, being able to be as flexible as you can, holding things even more. So it was less in the footwork, but more in the power and the strength, with also hard discipline, because Russian discipline is also tough. You see the videos sometimes of like ballet schools in Russia, they pull you every direction. So we had the same in France and in Germany. Spain, it's really a place where I was able to understand that the artistic value was as important as the technique. So in Spain, we learn a lot about also like, how can you take the stage? How can you have a strong presence when you're on the stage? It's not just about your technique, your physique, your body, but also like, how can you bring your personality into that? Still with a tough regime. Lots of competition, lots of shows, which builds you a lot as a child too. And then UK was they're more like romantic era. Okay, so even the techniques that they use in ballet was slightly different. In UK, it was all about forward and graceful and different style. Not so much about how many turns can you do, how high can you jump, but more about what is the quality that you can bring to the movement. And it was going really more and more in depth in that. So I felt it was a good progression for me, because it really built me up as the dancer that I am today also. And I think the culture also influenced that.
Yeah.
When I was in UK, my first rehearsal, I remember. So we had ballet meisters who were ex-dancers also. They used to be professional before that train you for the shows, for the choreography and everything. First class, they both started to laugh and dance together, like fooling around. And I was a bit like, what is this? Like, am I in the circus or something? Because I wasn't used to that. I was used to like more like you did with a stick, and pa, pa, pa. So I was like, what is wrong? As I eat dream? Not even in dream. I was more shocked. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was more shocked and I was more like, this is so unprofessional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even so, I was 15, 16 at the time, so I was very young, but I was like, this is not professional. Like, where am I?
Yes.
And then I got to understand that their way of working was also different, and that also brought more ease into our performance. But still, never getting a compliment. Like, in the dance world, you will never get complimented. They will only criticize you what was wrong. So if you know that if they're not criticizing you too much, you know that you're doing well.
Okay.
So my first show in the Royal Ballet, I would always remember that because I was new in the company and I was one of the youngest one in a sense of age. We finished the show. We were in the changing room. And then the ballet master comes in the changing room and says like, okay, your finger was too high in that part. Your head was not exactly in the same direction, blah, blah, blah. So she started giving correction to everyone. Then she sees me. Were you performing tonight? But that was a compliment.
How come?
Because she didn't notice me. That means I didn't do a mistake that would make me stand out.
But that is complex to understand though.
So it's like a twisted way in the sense of giving a compliment, but actually that was good because in that time we're doing La Bayadère, where we have 24 girls that needs to be doing exactly the same steps, and it's all about formation. So that means she didn't see me, I didn't do any mistake.
Wow. If I were like really dancing out, I'd be so stressed. Like, yeah, I was. So ballet is something that's new to Nepal. Guessing. So how was like when you started to teach ballet in Nepal? How was your how did the people around you express their thing to you?
So actually, the response has been very good because it's something that it's so, I would say, deep into the European culture. It's the same as like if I take Newari dance.
Yeah.
It's so embraced into your culture that it's normal, I think, for any Newari girl or guys to learn at least the basic movements, the basic things. So for us, it's the same in Europe. And I think a lot of Nepalese had that dream, in a sense, of doing ballet because of the costume, the big stage, the decor. And you only would see it like on YouTube. Or, maybe if you're traveling, if you're lucky enough to travel and you see a show abroad. So it was something very dreamy for them. And they also understood the discipline that he had. But then sometimes what happened is they don't understand that it takes time to get the technique. If you take fewer classes in the week, like let's say even one class a week, you cannot expect to be in a very high level very fast. And sometimes that was a bit hard for the parents to understand. Like they used to bring me the kids when they were 5 years old. How long would it take for my daughter to do ballet properly? Well, it can take up to 10 years.
Wow.
10 years to be able to be in that high level. If you just want to be able to do things like basic things, it's fine. You can learn fast, but also the body develops, the body grows. And discipline and technique, it's so strong in ballet at the beginning that either kids love it, either they hate it. Because
There is no middle thing.
there is no middle thing. You have to be so body aware and so like in tune either with the music. So maybe it's the music that makes you feel so good when you are dancing to beautiful ballet music that makes you want to do it and push yourself. But if you don't like to push yourself, ballet is not for you.
No.
Better do contemporary or flamenco, other things that you can get faster results in a short amount of time.
So we just talk about ballet. I wanted all of you about flamenco. Now we also know that you do a different other form of dance like traditional Chinese. Can you share a little bit about it? How did you came into a traditional Chinese form, or the European styles?
So that I started in Nepal.
Oh,
Only.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because we were not really aware about classical Chinese, back in Europe. But then here, I started to listen to a lot of old Chinese songs.
Oh, okay.
And then also watch movies. And it's similar to Bollywood. They always have like
Kind of, yeah.
a dancing number in the middle of the movies, like according to which movie it is. And I really like the softness that it had. It's a lot similar to ballet. So, except you have a lot more hands. So it's about how can you bring the element of water into your arms and into your hands. And that was something that was very soothing to me. And also listening to the songs, like I find them very beautiful. The voice is also really soft. The costumes, that are also so beautiful, that make me want to dig a little deeper. And because of my ballet background, it was very easy to get into it. And I feel it's really beautiful. So that was the thing that made me want to explore. And then I met a lot of people. Then I managed to also perform. So due to that, it was nice to develop also a little bit more in the technique. And I got good compliments from Chinese people.
Wow, that's a huge honor. That's nice,
Yeah.
So we talked about dance, but you also do artistic directions and you also do an acting. So can you share how did you a dancer turn into a director and an actor?
So that was back in UK. I had an injury, and that's why I had to stop doing ballet professionally. Little bit younger than I was expecting, so I was 24 at the time. And after that, I felt I want to go back to the stage. I did acting already from a young age, so that was something that was always in me. And even when we do ballet, we also have acting classes and mime classes because we had to express certain characters, certain emotions still on stage that requires the acting skills. And I felt, okay, if I cannot dance professionally, I want to go into the acting background. So through the period of getting better, being able to walk again, I started acting classes again, but to be able to have a professionally acting. And then I was like, okay, I think I found something that will make me still be on stage because I prefer theater. Like I love movies and short films and all the things, but I feel also theater, you go deeper into the character. You try to understand why that character is acting this way according to a certain situation, and it makes you go so much deeper that as an artist I feel it's so much more fulfilling. Sometimes in movies it's going to be okay, in this time you need to be emotion, needs to be like this and that, and then you have a few minutes to get into that feel and then cut.
Yeah.
Okay, let's retake from that angle.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't let you allow you to really fully explore things. That's what I feel personally, at least. And it didn't feel that different. Acting, you also have to use your body. So I always felt it was quite interesting to use characters that demanded body language that were very different. So, weird posture.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're doing things and you have to stay in that character throughout, or like things that were different than the typical characters, like most of the girls when they start, they're like, oh, I want to be the cute girl. Yeah, princess, that everybody falls in love with me.
Yes.
And then I was more interested in odd characters, things that were very different, that they requires more depth also. So that's how it kind of came together. And I have also like an art therapy background. So using art in a way of helping people to understand themselves so that they can slowly work on it. And combining everything was something that came very naturally to me. Because like I told you before, as a child, I used to do performance all the time. And so it didn't feel like it was something that different or that new. And that's why since I've been in Nepal, I've had the opportunity to create my own shows and to remix all the different forms together. Like, I don't want to just create a show that is only about dance because I don't feel the audience is ready for that. And I feel that I want them to feel even more. So I want to use different skills. I want to turn dancers into actors also, actors into kind of dancers where they can express things in different ways. And that's what excites me. So even right now, I'm working on a musical. So now we need 3 skills. 3. Acting, dancing, and singing. So we are starting the full package. So we're starting the rehearsal from February. And be training all the people that are involved in all the 3 skills to again uplift the level of performance. You know, I don't know how many theater plays you watched in Nepal.
I personally have watched one.
One.
That was yours.
Okay. Yeah. So, but not that much.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people here, they don't know much about only theater. Or they feel, I like dance, but I don't want to be sitting for an hour and a half just watching only dance, you know? So why I want to bring different type of shows is because I want people to feel like they are going into this world and have something that is transformed so that they can see an upgrade in a sense of performing arts.